Alright guys, it's 12:46 and I started the butter at 10:30, so it's been roughly 3 hours. This is important because one needs to know when cooking something when it's ready to be done. And there are two ways to do that. One is just to figure out if it's around 3 hours, or two, well, let me try to get that in the picture. It starts to look glossy on top. And that's really probably the most efficient way of telling whether or not they're done. If it starts to look glossy, if you use anything less than a half ounce, so say you put a quarter in, maybe you only put in a half stick of butter, so you only put in like an eighth, 3.5 grams, you're not going to be able to tell that it's become a more, glossy kind of look, as opposed to the watery look that it was in the beginning. But, there's a halfie in there, so it's glossy now, and so that means that it's time to start straining. So we have our cheesecloth straining Tupperware things. Just gonna put those in the sink there. Let's try to get those in the picture. Go and turn off the stove and bring this pot just full of Cannabutter right over here. And then sort of just pour. This is probably one of the grosser parts of the process. Doesn't smell terrific. Physically doesn't really look all that appealing. But, I'm trying to put like an equal amount of Cannabutter in these. Come on. Come on. Let's see. Alright, so now that that's there, we're going to try. This is always a little bit tricky, is getting the cheesecloth off once it has the dried out spent weed already on it. I have not exactly perfected a method for this. So yeah, just kind of lift that up. And this part right here is really fucking gross. It's up to you if you want to do this. But I'm going to go ahead and just like give it a little bit of a squeeze, try not to burn myself. Get like the last of whatever's there out. And seriously try not to burn myself because it's hot as fuck. And yeah, so we have this, which is just full of dried, spent weed. I wouldn't recommend trying to smoke that at all. And then we have this, which will turn into butter. Oh man, does anyone hear that house phone ringing? That's my house phone. I don't answer my house phone because nobody knows that my mother and I live here. So if they're calling, they're trying to reach somebody else. And I just don't really feel like bothering with it. Sometimes I like to answer and say that it's a Burger King, give them a fake name. Milwaukee Burger King, this is Brian, how can I help you? Something like that. Oh man, that burns my hands, that's what that does. See, and now we have more, another Tupperware container. Just gonna wash my hands quickly, because they're covered in, butter, and that's gross as fuck. Oh, I'm also splattering water all over my computer in doing this. And this soap dispenser is old as fuck, and it's making it really hard to get sufficient soap so that I can properly wash my hands right now. Alright. Just gonna dry the little bit of the computer that I've given a partial bath to. Alright, fantastic. So, now the butter is in these Tupperware containers. which we're going to let cool, for a little bit. Once we've let them cool, place lids on top, put in refrigerator, and let sit, overnight, any kind of extended period of time. The next time that you take them out, we should have basically a thick cake of butter, like butter, about that thick, just across the entire top, and below that will be, liquid, just bullshit. It's like diarrhea. You don't want to touch it. Yeah, just take out your block of butter. These two of them, I don't know how much they will be equally, but put together, I know that they are equal to 2 sticks of butter because that's how much I put in the mix originally. And now I will go forth, find a brownie or a cookie, any kind of baking recipe that calls for 2 sticks of butter, and I will put in these, equivalent to 2 sticks of butter, and then I will bake it, and then I will eat what I've made, and I will get high. So, yeah, that's how you make brownies.